Navigating the world of permits and regulations in construction can be a daunting task. With so many different types of permits, each with their own set of rules and requirements, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Hello viewers, and welcome to our video on navigating the complex world of permits and regulations in construction. Construction is a complex industry, and navigating the world of permits and regulations can be overwhelming. In this video, we'll help you understand the various types of permits and regulations that construction companies need to comply with and provide tips for successfully navigating this complex landscape. So let's dive into the video. What are permits? Permits are essential for any construction project, big or small. They are legal documents that grant permission to a person or company to construct, alter, or demolish a building on a particular site. Permits also ensure that the structure being built is safe and complies with local regulations. These permits can come from various government agencies depending on the type of construction project. For example, an electrical permit would be issued by the Electrical Safety Authority, while a building permit would come from the local municipality. Permits also dictate what specific work can be done and when it can be done. This helps maintain safety standards and ensures that everyone involved in construction follows proper procedures. It's important to note that not having proper permits can lead to serious consequences, such as fines or even legal action against those responsible for the construction project. In summary, permits are legal documents necessary in any construction process as they regulate what type of work is allowed and ensure compliance with all applicable laws and regulations. Types of permits. There are different types of permits that you may need to obtain before beginning construction work. The permit requirements vary depending on the type and scope of the project. Building permit. This is usually required for major construction projects, such as new buildings or significant renovations. It ensures that your project meets building codes and safety standards. Electrical permit. If you plan to add new electrical wiring or make changes to existing electrical systems in your building, an electrical permit is necessary. This includes installing lighting fixtures, outlets, and other appliances. Plumbing permit. Plumbing permit is required if you plan to install new plumbing fixtures like sinks, toilets, showers, or water heaters. It also covers repairs or modifications to existing plumbing installations. Mechanical/HVAC permit. If your project involves heating, ventilation, or air conditioning, HVAC, system installation, or repair work, then a mechanical/HVAC permit must be obtained. Fire safety/suppression system permit. For any fire suppression system installations such as sprinklers or alarms, this particular type of permit needs approval from local fire departments before starting the construction process. Zoning/land use permit. These permits are needed when zoning laws apply in areas where they restrict land use, which should follow some guidelines and regulations established by authorities. Remember that each jurisdiction has its own set of rules regarding permits, so it's important to do proper research beforehand. Failing to acquire a necessary permit can result in fines and delays during construction, adding unnecessary costs for both time and money. Call us today to learn more about the specific permits that may be needed for your project. How to apply for a permit. Applying for a permit can be an intimidating process, but it doesn't have to be. The first step is to determine which permits you need based on your specific construction project. This can vary depending on location and the type of work being done. Once you've identified the necessary permits, gather all required documentation and information. This may include architectural plans, engineering reports, zoning certificates, proof of insurance, and more. Next, fill out the application completely and accurately. Double-check that all necessary fields are filled in and that there are no errors or omissions. Incomplete applications can cause delays in processing. After submitting the application, expect a waiting period before approval or denial is given. It's important to follow up with the issuing authority if no response has been received after a reasonable amount of time has passed. If approved, make sure to keep a copy of the permit at the job site at all times, as well as comply with any conditions listed on it. Failure to do so could result in fines or even stop work orders. Remember that navigating permits and regulations can be complex, but taking these steps will help ensure compliance while keeping your construction project moving forward smoothly. How to avoid getting a permit. While permits are necessary for most construction projects, there may be instances where you can avoid getting them. However, before attempting to bypass the permit process, make sure you understand the risks and consequences. One way to avoid permits is by keeping your project small in scale. For example, if you're planning on adding a small shed or playhouse to your backyard, it's unlikely that you'll need a permit. However, if your project involves significant changes to your property or building structure, permits will likely be required. Another option is to use prefabricated structures that have already been approved by local building codes. These structures often don't require additional permitting as they've already gone through the necessary approvals. It's important to note that avoiding permits can lead to serious legal issues down the line. If an unpermitted structure fails inspection or causes damage or injury to others, you could face significant fines and even legal action. In short, while it may be tempting to skip the permit process altogether, doing so can cause more harm than good in the long run. Always check with local authorities and ensure proper permitting before beginning any major construction project. How to get a permit. If you're planning on undertaking a major construction project, it's important to understand the steps necessary to get a permit. First, you'll need to contact your local building department. This is typically done through your local government website or by calling the department directly. You'll need to provide information about the project, including the address, type of construction, and estimated cost. Next, the department will send you an application form. You'll need to complete this form and submit it with your information. The building department may also require additional documentation such as plans or diagrams. Once your application has been processed, you'll likely receive a permit in the mail. Make sure to keep this document safe, as it will be required during construction. Conclusion. Navigating the complex world of permits and regulations in construction can be a daunting task. It requires knowledge, patience, and attention to detail. However, it's an essential part of any building project. Obtaining permits is crucial for ensuring that your construction project complies with local laws and safety regulations. The process may seem complicated at first, but with proper research and understanding of the requirements, you'll be able to navigate it effectively. Remember always to apply for necessary permits before embarking on any building project. This compliance will save you time and prevent legal problems in the future while keeping your workers safe. Navigating regulatory processes can take some effort. However, it's a vital aspect of every construction project. With this guide's help on different types of licenses available to you and how to obtain them quickly without breaking the law or spending a fortune on penalties or legal fees, you should feel more confident about handling permit applications for future projects. So this was our today's video. I hope you all liked this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe my channel, and also share it with your friends and family. We will be back soon with a new video. Till then, keep supporting and take care.